What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. My name is Joey Petersen. Unfortunately, the news we all feared has now become official. Lamar Jackson will not be playing in Sunday's game against the Los Angeles Rams. This will be the second game in a row that he has missed, and unfortunately, you put yourself in the spot where Sunday feels like a must-win, and you have to do it with your backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, and not the two-time MVP winner, Lamar Jackson. Appreciate you guys for being here. We got a lot to talk about on today's show. If this is your first time, make sure you subscribe. I guarantee you we had this news out before anybody else on this platform. If that's the truth, and if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, like I said earlier, Baltimore's put themselves in a very, very unfortunate spot, and it feels like today's game is a little bit hopeless. And I hate to say that. I hate to be pessimistic, but we have to ask ourselves this question. Has Baltimore given us any reason to be optimistic about what they've showed out there on the football field? Is there any reason to believe that this defense is just now going to somehow magically step up no matter who they have back from injury? Think about the first couple weeks of the season. They had everybody healthy. They still were awful. I don't know, man. It's fine. It's hard for me to find the silver lining in all of this. I don't think they're making the wrong decision, though. I want to make that fully clear. Lamar Jackson is your ticket to wherever you want to go at the end of this season. If you want to make a Super Bowl, if you're going to make a Super Bowl, it's on the back of Lamar Jackson. I think that's been apparent this season, especially last week when you didn't get play against Houston. You lost that game 44-10. And so jeopardizing his health for the rest of this season for a game in Week 6, for a game in Week 5, I don't think is the right decision, especially the fact that you got the bye week coming up next weekend. That gives himself another 2 weeks of rest from playing a football game, right? Another full week, and then another full week on top of that until you got to play in Week 8 against Chicago. And so I get the decision that they're making, and I agree with the decision that they're making because I would rather have him not play this game and be 100% fully healthy for the rest of the season than them rush him back because they feel like this is a must-win, and he further hurts himself, and then he's out for 3-4 weeks after that bye week. That is like worst-case scenario. It's just hard to look at Sunday's game against Los Angeles and have a little bit of hope because you think about last week's game against Houston. You were playing a team offensively that was one of the worst in the National Football League. They were averaging 16 points a game, and you made them look like Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. They could do whatever they wanted. They could do anything under God's green earth offensively because your defense could not stop a nosebleed. And again, I don't care who's back Sunday against the Rams. I don't care if you're going to have more players back than you did the week before. Show me. Show me a reason to be optimistic. I'm inviting you to do that. Now, in terms of this offense, in terms of Cooper Rush being at the helm of this thing, you just got to be better on first down. This team only had 2 third downs all of last week's game that were less than 5 yards. One way you help that statistic, one way you change that statistic is by being better on first down, being more efficient on first down. That makes second down easier. That makes third down easier. That extends drives. But if you're starting first downs behind the sticks because of false starts, because of penalties, if your first downs are resulting in a handoff to Derrick Henry and then he's just getting nowhere because this offensive line can't get any push, and believe me, you're about to face a defensive line in Los Angeles that's one of the best in the National Football League. It's hard for me to have hope in this offense. Now, if you are going to win this football game, it is going to be on the back of Derrick Henry. I said this last week when the Lamar Jackson injury news came out. I'm saying it this week, and if God forbid he's injured for that Chicago game, I'm going to say it again then. You're hearing a lot of talk about Derrick Henry over the last couple weeks, and rightfully so. He's put together 2 pretty uninspiring stat lines against the Kansas City Chiefs and against the Houston Texans. But again, kind of like I've said all week, I don't think that's Derrick Henry's fault. I think that is the fault of this offensive line. Not 100%, but I think they take the fair share of the blame. It's not Derrick Henry's fault. that every single time he's handed the football, he's got 300-pound defensive linemen in his face instantaneously. I need Andrew Voorhees. Okay? I need Daniel Fa'alele. I need those two guys to step up. And then once they do, you will see the Derrick Henry that you saw last season. You'll see the Derrick Henry that you saw this season in game 1 against the Buffalo Bills. But it's got to start with this offensive line. It has to. And they are facing one of the hardest defensive lines they're going to face all season in Los Angeles. They got some dudes in that interior. They've got some dudes out there on the edge. But this needs to be a Derrick Henry game. I believe he got somewhere around 15 carries last week, 13 carries last week. That needs to be 20, 25. And the reason that can get there, the way that can get there, is if you start being better defensively. Because if you don't stop them and they run up the score and all of a sudden you blink, you're halfway through the first half, halfway through the second quarter, they're up by 3 touchdowns, 3 scores, you kind of have to abandon the run, and then your offense becomes super easy to stop. But if you can get some defensive stops, if you can create some turnovers, then without Lamar Jackson, I can believe that Cooper Rush can have command over this offense. Look at what he did that first drive against Houston. It only resulted in a field goal. Yeah, that sucked. But still, multiple third down conversions, multiple big boy, big time throws, and everybody else was kind of stepping up. And then you just kind of saw it fade away after that first drive. I need that first drive energy for the entirety of this game against Los Angeles. Now let's talk defense. Defensively, I need these guys to stand up, okay? Defensively, I need these guys to make plays, to make sacks, to be better on first down as well. Again, we talked about this on Wednesday night, I believe, or no, maybe it was Wednesday morning. We talked about how you have to be better on first down defensively as well. Because the Houston Texans only had 4, or I forgot what the stat was specifically, but I had a stat on, I'm going to go back and look at it, on the Houston Texans and what they were able to do on third down. They had 4 third downs only that were longer than 5 yards in that game on Sunday. Only 4 times they had a third down longer than 5 yards. One of the reasons, because they were so good and so efficient on first down. And your team, your defense, was so bad on first down. I need you to make plays. I need you to get to the quarterback. Matthew Stafford, he's not mobile. He's not C.J. Stroud. He's not going to be able to rip off a 40-yard run against you. I need you to be able to take advantage of that. I need you to be able to force a turnover. For the love of God, can you force a turnover? And yeah, you're not going to have a Dafe Owe. Kyle Van Noy, can you step up? Mike Green, can you step up? How about you, Malachi Stars? Can you make some plays? New guys, Alohi Gilman, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. What about you guys? Can you guys step up and make plays? Somebody has to. I can't. Lamar can't. Somebody's got to. Nobody's really done it this season defensively. Not one person. You've gotten 1 pick, and it was against Joe Flacco and the Browns like late in the third quarter when that game was already out of hand. Now, great, it was Nate Wiggins. That was awesome. Congrats to Nate. He's a beast. Dude's a stud. But that's it. That's all we've gotten. No forced fumbles, no interceptions, no strip sacks, nothing. If Lamar Jackson is going to be out, this whole team has to take one massive step up. And they didn't do that against Houston. They didn't. Plain and simple. You got an opportunity to do it here against Los Angeles. Can you? John Harbaugh, can you step up? Defense, can you play with some heart? Offensive line, can you be aggressive? Todd Monken, can you be in your bag? Zach Orr, can you finally do something? Please. I've been begging you. Just do something. It's a big game. Feels like it's a must-win in Week 6 because you don't want to go into the bye week with a 1-5 record. The only way you do that is if everybody on this team steps up. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure to like the video. Also, a reminder, Sunday's game against the Rams. We will be live for that one, and I hope to see you.